Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Manor Lords adventure. In this series we're diving into a fun experimental build that kind of pushes the boundaries of medieval city building. It's part strategy, a little bit of chaos, so hit that like button to help with the YouTube gods and let's get this party started. Oh, this is perfect. Look at this. We have our berries, we have our wild animals, a perfect cliffside starting area. This is a great start. We're going to have the best farmland and a nice little peninsula. So what we're going to do is build out a new design of mine. It's been used before, but not quite in the way that I'm about to show you. Now where I place some of my buildings is going to be largely dependent upon where the barley fertility is highest. And we're going to make a really cool city. So the barley fertility throughout this whole area is superb. So the houses I think are going to go here with the farmland extending out this direction. And the industry can be done all the way up against this cliffside, kind of making it awesome. With our only rich deposit being the animals, this is exceptionally great a food build. And this is going to help us maintain our food varieties. I'm going to place a circle around this area. That way people move around it instead of going inside of it, which sounds weird. And for our berries over here, we're going to get a forager hut just so we can see where all the berries are. And then we'll place a farm plot around it to protect it from accidents. What happens is sometimes the berry bushes can be destroyed when they're cutting the trees down from the logging camp. And it also prevents you from just accidentally placing buildings down, which is a good way to keep everything clean. But this will just allow me to, have a nice little area, not worry about screwing up. So what we want are 3 houses that are next to where the wood is stored to get them up as quickly as possible. These are going to be double burgage plots. We're going to do them just straight up on the road right here. This is a perfect spot for all this. So we got 3 burgage plots right here. Perfect. We're going to get those up. We're going to order our second ox. We're going to get up a hitching post. I'm going to get a road that kind of goes naturally with the landscape, but this is going to be an entire industrial sector down here. And then the veggie burgage plots are going to start over here and be connected. The majority of the wild animals will have a granary here. This is actually an amazing, amazing location for the idea that I had. Next thing I want to do is get up a logging camp. I'm just going to get that up right here. I'm going to prioritize the logging camp. Ignite everything. All right. And we're off to the races. So we just need to get everything here built. It's going to be wonderful. And so I'll show you all the steps and explain everything. Logging camp is up. We're going to boot this immediately to 3 people. We need 2 logs per expansion on each of those houses. And because I protected the berries, I don't need to worry too much. So we have this massive area for logging right here. This is beautiful. And hopefully we get another ox in soon. There's a bit of delay on the ox. You can either get it in the first month or the second month. They added a randomness to it. And I'm glad we didn't have to move the animals. That's great. I have everybody focused on either logs or building houses. All right, we got 4 lumber, so let's upgrade this house. Once this is built, we'll upgrade this house. Now, the point of this is if you build all housing and you have 1 extra housing spot, you'll hit 50% approval at the beginning of April, and you'll get your 6th family member. And that's crucial for the next stage where we have to get leather, 2 types of food, and all of that jazz. All right, 3rd house up. Let's do more lumber, and we can improve that one as well. All right, we're there. I'm going to boot the logging camp down to 2 people. We're going to speed this up. We're going to place where we think we want the granary worker to be. So we need to get up the storehouse and granary at some point here soon. I'm going to place the hunter. I think I'm going to place it here. And for the time being, we're going to have a storehouse over here, this here. We're going to place our market stalls right here in this clearing. We're never going to have 59 market stalls, so don't worry. We don't have to worry about the well until we're going to tier 2, which we'll need to do soon so we can start getting bows, because we're on the hardest difficulty. We don't get any weapons from when you build the storage shed. We don't have armaments on, so we will have to get weapons up ASAP. Next thing I want to do is build a road out from this berry, going down right yonder, right to where the hunting camp is. I'm most likely going to put the granary kind of at a midpoint. That way it's not having to go too far. We're going to build ourselves a forager hut. Got to get this house up before the beginning of April. I think we're in good shape. I'm cutting it a little close, but we'll be there. As long as we have everyone in a house, which we do, we'll hit 50% approval. And as long as we have this built by the end of the 1st on April, we'll get the 2nd person. We did it on the 29th. Perfect. So we're going to hit that 59% mark. So we're going to place 1 individual into the hunting camp. Increase the prioritization of the forager. We're going to place a granary right here. I'm going to take a lead road down the bottom part of the market, make it easier for people to kind of move. This is great. All right, we're pulling in the meat now. Got the granary going. Next thing I want to do is get that storehouse going. We just got the 6th family member. We're going to get the storehouse right here on a... Actually, let's... Yeah. At a certain point when I get into trade, I'm going to have trade items in a storehouse parallel from each other. We'll get into having separate storehouses and how to do that later. All right, let's get one individual into the forager. And once this granary is fully built, we'll be able to get food into the market and get the bonus from food. Perfect. One individual into the granary. One individual into the storehouse. We're going to pull one person out of the logging camp. We also need to start getting up our next house. I unfortunately am just going to need to straight up get a double burgage plot because I won't have enough time for them to build things out. I just need to get this up immediately. So I think what we're going to do is take this spot right here and dedicate this to another burgage plot. Perfect. We're also going to want to get a woodcutter up. Just getting firewood into the market will give you a positive that should keep us above 50%. Woodcutter's Lodge. And we can place this realistically anywhere. I think I'm going to place it right here. Perfect. We have a rich deposit, so we want to take this to 20. Now, one of the advantages of having that rich deposit is things are going to go really well in the meat department and the berry department. It's going to be really easy for us to have 2 food types. And we just need to get that house up before the end of the year, so I am going to prioritize this to the highest. All right, perfect. We're not going to expand until we get the next family member. If you're expanding that slot, if I expand this house, the slot's not open for someone to move into. I've done this so many times to myself in other plays, so I've learned the hard way. All right, we hit 50%. Beginning of the year, we have an open slot. Got the family. Perfect. So now you can expand. And now we have 2 people. We have the Woodcutter's Lodge, so now we have firewood coming in. He won't need to be a full-time worker because we can get about 8 or 10 months off that gent. The next thing we need to do is get a saw pit. I'm going to place the saw pit right behind all this jazz right here. So I might even be able to get a road through here. Holy cow, yes. So we got the saw pit next to the logging camp, next to the storehouse, so they can move the boards quicker and they can get the logs quicker. This is actually really wonderful. We're going to move these hitching posts to the right side of the logging camp just to kind of get this area clear if I want to do some more industry and such. So let's get a nice little road. So we have, with the expansion of this house, we have 1 more month worth of area for someone to move into. I have 9 timber. We're going to start getting boards. We're going to get the church up. We're going to get a leather maker up. We're going to start moving in the right direction here. So what I have going on is that I need to kind of pick the area that I'm going to do for the main settlement in the main city. I think houses will kind of just go throughout this whole area in a natural way. But the farm and super bender burgage plots, flexo burgage plots, whatever you want to call them, are going to be generally in this area. So we're going to build a super farming area. And it's going to be fantastic. So let's go to the field tool and let's look at barley fertility. So we can see that barley fertility really takes off above this mark. So the houses should definitely be right here. So what I think I'm going to do is use a corpse pit as a basis for where the farmhouse should go and give it enough room. Perfect. And we're going to have ourselves a parallel road. I kind of like to have things that look a little, unique. So I like it when things don't totally line up because you can do cool stuff and add a little character to everything. So I think that this is going to be it. So we're going to have a parallel road like so as the middle ground for windmills and all types of stuff to go along with the farming. And that will connect to this road. So this is going to look pretty cool. And then from here, we can have it go off in a few directions like so around the granary. So we have a granary here, potential for more granaries all along this area. But now we're in excellent shape to do the next step. I'm going to have a parallel road right here as the basis. And now we can go into creating the flexo design. So what we're going to do is have 1 corpse pit here. And it does look like we hit a little snag. So I'm just going to boot this up a tad bit more. Perfect. So yeah, what we're gonna have is a parallel road. Goes like this. Good enough. We can put something cool in there. So this will be the first. Wonderful. And we already have the majority of this, so I just need to go over like such, all the way to the tip like that, and then corner it. Now, I've skipped a very important step, which is making sure that everything is parallel to this corner and this corner so that my snap points are right. But I think I can get it to work because of the angle, but we'll try. So this will be the first veggie burgage plot. That is 3.5 corpse pits. From this corner to this corner, third point all the way up. So, decent, but don't like it. Try from this point to this point. This is the third, don't like it. We can try different thirds. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Oh, that's probably the best one right there. That's really good. We just lose a little bit. So this will be the collection points. That's a really good walking distance for all of these. Perfect. And then the next step is getting the farmland all out. So what we're going to do is have the strip farming go all the way. And so this will be half a Morgan, but they'll be able to plow this very quickly. The design is have all the farming in between. I just think conceptually it's going to look really neat. And these will need to be a bit wider than the other. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. So these are going to be 0.4. We have one extra, but I think it all kind of works out. But yeah, we're going to have the strips. We're going to have the burgage plot, farming in between. Same thing over here with the strips. Everything's doing really well. We're running out of fuel, but not for long. All right, we got the fuel coming in now. We're going to be in good shape, tip-top shape. Let's look at our food situation. We have 15 meat. We don't want to pull that. We have 62 berries. I don't really want to pull that either. Get rid of this corpse pit. We don't need them building that. A lot of food. We're going to do veggies. We're going to have more cool stuff. I'm going to just kind of build things the way that I think they should be built and just have fun with this build, you know? We're doing so well. Look at that. All that meat. All those berries. All right, we're at 100%. Going to prioritize the saw pit and the burgage plot here, but things are going well. Ooh. Looks like we hit 48%. 49%, so we did not get the leather maker up on time. You know, and that's my fault for looking at all the pretty stuff, but that's okay. Yeah, we're doing great everywhere else though. Having 7 people though at the start is fantastic. All right, saw pits up. Go to advanced tab. We're gonna set a timber reserve of 5 because that's how much we need for the church. Once you get the church up, you're golden. And we're gonna set a plank limit of 40 for the time being. The next thing I want to get up is leather. Nice. We're gonna get the tannery up. I think I'm going to place the tannery right here. And have ourselves a little road going to the corner here. Perfect. All right, so the next thing I want to do is line everything up for the next Plexo design. So that's where this all lines up, where all that lines up. Perfect. And we want this to be straight just for the time being. A lot of this stuff I'm going to remove, so don't worry. Perfect. Now I can remove pretty much all these roads. I'm going to draw all this out. Pull this to this road here. Remove the corpse pits. This one's going to be unique. It's going to have a curve in it, but I think it's going to make it nice. So 2 points. Pull to the third. Pull to the fourth. Look at that. That's a good one right there. It's a little different from its brother. It's actually a lot of different. So let's redo this part here. Pull that out. You want this to look a little right. Okay, cool. That looks nicer. There we go. We lose a little bit at the top. We gain so much. Perfect. This is great. But we can run. I think it'd be smart to run this road parallel here. We'll keep this. This is great. So we got this little inner area here. Farming and all types of stuff. And I think we can actually put more farm up this way too. So this will look great. Now I do kind of want to keep the consistency. I like the way that this kind of turns. So I'm gonna copy this, right? And we can make it a little different. We're gonna copy it, have it be kind of like a little fork in the road type scenario. I like it. I like it a lot. And let's get the rest of the farm plots up. So what I think we're gonna have here is a farm here. Let's pause real quick because we can actually get the farms up. So if I put a farm here, not enough goods. Cool. We got enough room for 2 farms here. We got enough room for a windmill right here behind everything. 91% efficiency. That's really good. The tannery's going up. So windmill there, maybe a couple bakeries in this area. Everything here is golden. So these are going to be veggies. Now the apples are going to be done on a separate plot. And you can go a little crazy on apples because they don't need to be as specialized, to be quite honest. You can get away with a lot more with apples. So we're going to turn off the snap to road tool. Now remember, our goal is to go for 4 to 0.5 Morgans. This game can sometimes round in weird ways, so 4 can be closer to 5 than you think. 0.4. I've noticed that you get just exceptionally good yields pretty much all the time. 0.4. We got 3, and then that way we can kind of count. But look how cool that this is going to look already. You can kind of see what I'm going for here. So this one's a little bit different than this guy over here, as you can see, just because of the way the road's curved. But, you know, we're doing everything we can to make this make sense. I think these are going to be more than enough, so we have 15. Perfect. We're going to have 3 rotations, so that's 5 per. So we have the perfect amount for doing all types of rotations. We can have other things up here, but this is going to be the farming area and all of that jazz. Now, what I'm actually thinking is what we do is we make apple burgage plots in this area, and we do it kind of in a unique way. So this is going to be something I'm just making up off the spot. We're going to place a hitching post to create a circle design here. I have no idea where I'm going with any of this, so stay tuned to see if I come up with something cool or not. Last circle is decent. Rid of this. And we can place an apple granary in the middle of this at some point. Let's see if just make sure this is big enough. Yep. Place a granary right there in the center. So what I'm thinking is, from the center of this, we have a connection. And we just have some cool little apple orchard houses going around the half circle here. And we can make these pretty crazy. I think what we're going to do is try to keep all points as equal as possible. So the best way to do that is just to take the center of this, go all the way down, and then do corner to corner like this. It's never going to be perfect, but the idea is that it is cool. So we do have an extra area that we could do more farming in. To make this all kind of wrap up, I'm gonna have to. What we're gonna do is place an outside road for people to travel parallel to all of this. That's great. Like I said, not everything in life has to be absolutely amazingly perfect. And then over here, we're gonna have just an extra little bit of farming. But these guys are gonna be big. Yeah, this is gonna be 0.6. This should actually do the majority of everything. As long as you don't go over 1, for the most part, the ox can handle all the plowing. So 1 is the most. And it's cool. You can have things be a little different. It's not that big of a deal. Now, to keep consistency, I would love to have more on this side, but I think we're going to leave it just a little inconsistent. Inconsistencies, sometimes, if done right, can sometimes make a build look more natural. Alright, so these ones actually, you can see these shapes, these are really easy to do apples in. These guys right here, these are much harder. So we're going to have to be a little smart in how we do this. I'm going to have to set this up in a way that gives me the best possible result. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So these 4 plots right here are going to be really good for everything. And we can do something extra with this. But in order to get these apple plots to be efficient and cool looking, we're going to need to do this. And we'll have to play around with this until we get it right. All right, this is a pretty good one. We just don't have enough goods. So let's get all the goods that we need. And then we'll have our apples there with the granary there and a granary here. This will all kind of tie together. It will help with farming. It's going to look neat. I think we're in really good shape right now, to be quite honest. The woodcutter's going. Cannery is going to be the highest prioritization right now. Let's get that going. I think I'll put the church around these parts. I'm going to put one person back into the logging camp. Berries are doing pretty well right now. So we're going to pull the dude out of the forager hut so we have someone to build. Alright, we did it. We got a settlement level increase. So the first thing that I'm going to do is open up orchardry so that we have everything we need for that. This burgage plot is now up. We're going to slap in a veggie garden. Now you can see because of this angle right here, this all got, we lost a lot from that. So that wasn't something I had factored in. You may have to redo these. I think it's because this pushed in up here. So we're going to destroy this whole house and replace it. That was not ideal, not the ideal thing to happen for us. That's what happens when one thing is wonky on a uniform build. Okay, I think that this will be done right. We got a nice angle here. We'll place that house. Of Fortunately, we lost a little bit of money, but that's okay. I will recover. What we need to do is start building an army as fast as humanly possible. So yeah, we have nothing. We need to get to tier 2. So I also want to build a small house at some point that's just a single burgage plot with a backyard extension so that we can start making bows as fast as possible. Cannery's here. Let's get cannery going. I'm going to take the individual out of the saw pit. We need 5 wood and we can build a church. This will put us at 5 burgages, so that's pretty sweet. We can, with the common goods store, we can have enough leather and firewood to hit 100% at 5 plots open. But we're going to go above that pretty soon here. Perfect. So once we get more people there. All right, church can now go up. Let's get the church going. I think we're going to want to upgrade this storehouse because we're getting full. So let's do that. We got everybody doing their thing. I'm going to pull the guys out of the logging camp. I'm going to pull people out of wood cutting because I think we have, what, 36 months. Get everyone building that we possibly can. Get everybody growing. This is perfect. We're in good shape. And as soon as I can start getting bows, we can start stealing bandit camps, and that will allow me to hire mercenaries. Another thing I want to do is start getting the trade post up because we're going to need that. We're going to need money bad. I want to get it as close to the storehouse as possible so we can place it here. Not bad. Church is up. Perfect. Let's get one individual back into the logging camp. That's going to put us up. We're going to start getting more families coming in now. Get these houses built. The farms are going to look great. All right. Let's try this one more time. Perfect. Yeah. So you can't have that corner bent in. That's what I'm learning. I think we're actually going to demolish this before it's built so we don't waste the wood and redo it. Now that I know that it was that corner piece messing everything up, we're in good shape. All right, cool. We got the farmhouse prepped and ready to go if we want to start expanding at some point. This is looking beautiful, I'm not going to lie. We have 2 open living spaces, so I will expand that. Just make sure you have 1 open living space before you do expansion so you don't miss out getting those people. All right, we're back on Easy Street now. We have enough berries, in my opinion, for everybody. Everything is in really good order right now. We don't need too many boards. We want to get family into here and upgrade this to a tier 2 burgage plot. So we do need water access at this point. Getting into tier 2 is vitally important so that we can defend ourselves. So ooh, nice, look at that. We're gonna place the well right here where everybody has access to it. I do think at some point they're gonna make the well important, but yeah, we're above 50% now. So this is where the game really does take off for you. And we have, yeah, we had just enough money for that guy. Cool. So now we need to focus on making cash. All right, point there, point there. Probably selling boards is going to be one of the easiest ways for us to really start getting money. But let's just make sure that we take that principle into account, that we do not chop the corner up. But I think we can do better. Do 3 points. Point there. Yeah, look at that. We cannot have this be weird here. I wonder if we can get away with this, but at the same time, I don't want to find out. Pretty wonked because of the curve, because of the natural road here, which we didn't have to factor in on the other side. These are all the fun things that you get to do when you're, trying to create. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, so if you're having problems, just replace it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is a perfect. That's going to be wonderful. All right. So, yeah, trade is definitely next on the docket. Not enough goods. All right. We'll let them get to work. I'm going to place 2 people into the logging camp now because it does seem like wood is kind of getting us there. Place 1 person in the saw pit. We'll get that water access up. Perfect. Once that family moves into this burgage plot, we're going to be in good shape. Start making bows. Next thing we want to do is get the manor up. That's going to take some stone. So we definitely want to start getting some of that stone. Which is up here. Nice. Alright, he's already claiming land. He's already going. I desperately need to get some individuals up and going if I'm going to survive. Kind of in bad shape here, but we'll get to it. Probably want to place down another hitching post. At some point I'll have some money. Definitely want to get up a trade post. Get that up right here. 100% in the marketplace. Everybody's doing great. We're growing. Got the stone cutter going. Let's just get that going right now, honestly. Start getting that stone coming in. We're going to hold off on building any kind of houses or expanding anything until I get the family to move into the plot that I want for bow. This is one of the bigger kickers in the game. Is it's nice to have 1 spot open. But everybody's doing great. All right, trading post is up. Let's pause the game real quick. So we can start exporting planks for sure. And I think we can export anything over 30. And then firewood. I always go for firewood because you can just produce so much of it. And, you know, every bit counts at this stage of the game. So we have 166. We'll sell everything over 140. Now, ground merchants will come. We don't have to buy a route. Ground merchants will come and buy 5 or so at a time. I only need a few. You know, I only need 15 or I only need 20. Like over here, I only need 15 to build that vegetable garden. Now, this should feed with all the apples up here and all these veggies. This should feed the size of the town that we're going for. You know, winter's coming. All right, we got a lot of stone now. We're going to upgrade the granary. That will reduce spoilage rates too, so that's great. Need one more family to move in. Well, we need one more yeah, we still have open spots. Okay. A little bit more, but we're doing great. We have everything we need in order. Place one individual into the trade post now. Hunting camp is at a pretty good equilibrium right now with just the one person. Like they're getting out there and getting their hands dirty, getting vegetables going. We're going to need to place someone into the forager hut here now. I'm going to pull back on the logging camp. All right, we're over a year worth of food. We're in really good shape, but we just need to keep up food variety at this point. All right, there we are. We got it. Here too. And we'll get the bows going. Our first unit is definitely going to be an archer unit. You can go 2. It's good to split. If we get into a point where we have to kind of kite the enemy, we might be in a situation where I might be in some pretty bad shape. We need to wait for the Lord to attack a bandit camp, get someone out there. We also need to get our manor up. I think that the manor can actually go potentially right here on the side of the road. And we'll build this up in a little bit of time. This is a good spot. I'm going to place it right here and commit. Perfect. Going to take them a bit to build that out, so we'll give them that time. We have multiple families. We have everybody doing their thing. We don't need the individual over here in the forager hut, but I'm going to leave them there anyway because I don't want to micromanage that, and I have a lot of people. Boyer workshop going up now. Get them bows making. We're going to hold off on upgrading everybody to tier 2, even though we probably should. I mean, we could start getting some barley production and things like that, but we're not quite there. I want to wait for a few more families. All right. So now we're at a point where we definitely want to expand living spaces. I'm going to hold off because this is the only... I think this is the only place that no one's lived in. So, yeah. So now it's also time to start getting the apple orchard individuals up. So let's get this house going. These plots aren't exactly efficient, but we'll do our best. This is actually good enough for me. This is a lot of apples. So we'll get a couple of these houses going. Just make sure you see that hammer, because that tells you what's going on. These apple orchards don't have to be efficient. They harvest from every other tree, and they do it, honestly, in a really quick pace. You can go the distance on efficiency here if you want, but I haven't noticed that it makes too much of a difference. For the veggies, it makes a huge difference, but for apples, not so much. The big kicker for a lot of this stuff is just granary location next to all this, because you're going to be pulling in hundreds, so you need to move it fast. So, all right, this guy wasn't happy, so I put this little tip over here. Hoping that will help out. This is looking good. We got a good drop-off point here. This is about as best as I can get. This guy's a little weird. All right, but that should look cool with all the apple trees at the end of that. So we're in good shape. We finally got it all done. But we got a lot to do. This build's going to come together pretty nice here. Stay tuned for the next chapter.